The CIA torture report was released today, so conservative pundits are scrambling to come up with reasons why it shouldn't be. So let's watch their main argument.
Well, I think words matter. I think you've made that pretty clear this morning. And Senator Kerry is, I think, correctly concerned that debates like the one we're having right now may endanger American lives abroad. Are you at all worried that your prerogative to say all the things you said this morning about an American program that was approved by Democrats and Republicans in Congress, President and Vice President, is it worth it to you to have this debate and say the things you've said this morning if it endangers lives abroad?
Well, I think Secretary Kerry is raising the right issues, and of course that weighs heavily. This was not an easy decision, Nicole. This isn't something I just woke up one morning and said, let's do it. I weighed that last spring as we were thinking through this decision, and I think the long-range consequences, and I've been told this by interrogators, it's not the report that's putting people's lives at risk, it's what we did that's putting people's lives at risk. And we've got to move beyond this as a country, because otherwise it's going to keep happening. Anymore, sir.
I mean, it is something that if you believe the program was wrong, the program doesn't happen anymore. So you believe, though, that relitigating it is worth possibly, as Secretary Kerry has said, endangering American lives abroad in 2014?
It doesn't happen anymore because the current president has ruled it out.
Right,
but the very fact that everybody's
the reason
out there,
it doesn't happen anymore, but you think that relitigating it now in this report is of sufficient value to, if heaven forbid it should endanger lives abroad, you think the balance is correct that the Congress has struck?
So first of all, it's incorrect that we're not doing any of these tactics anymore. In fact, we just outsourced it to other governments who are our allies. These are what they call CIA black sites. It's not as explicit, and perhaps it's not happening at Abu Ghraib and Guantanamo Bay anymore, but it is happening for the U.S., and we just outsourced it to our allied countries who are fine with getting their hands dirty. So let's establish that right off the bat. It's better than what it was under Bush, but we're still not fully there yet. Now, the second thing. Do you understand her argument? And the reason why I use this clip is because I saw a bunch of different conservatives make this argument, and she summed it up best. So I wanted to bring it to her and then break down exactly what she said. What she's arguing is that, well, if you release the facts about torture, then you're going to endanger Americans. You're going to make everybody mad who are our enemies. They're going to get more passionate about it, and then they're going to come after us. But hold on. Wasn't the original reason why you guys did torture? Your argument was that we need to protect Americans, so to protect Americans, we must torture. And now you're saying the exact opposite. Now you're saying if we torture, we're actually putting everybody more at risk because we're going to make our enemies want to attack us more. So which is it? Which is it? You totally contradicted yourself based on what is more kind to your current position. God, they're so stupid, man. And they have no principles. They have no principles. Look, the most important point about this is torture is supposed to be not debatable. I mean, that's like saying, you guys want to go look back at that whole we can't murder thing? Okay, you want to look into that? Let's go back and debate that again. It's like, no, that's off the table. Torture is off the table. Do you think for a second these conservatives would be making the same arguments if we learned that it was Iran doing these techniques or one of our enemies doing it? No, they'd use that as more reason as to why we need to fight them and why they're so evil and they're demonic and all this nonsense. I mean, they're such tremendous hypocrites. Now, the reality is, yes, the fact that we tortured people absolutely emboldened our enemies, made them want to attack us more, got them more involved, increased recruitment for terrorism, which is why we shouldn't have done it in the first place. But this is not, what they're presenting is not an argument to not release the facts, and I'll tell you why, because the government, this is also not debatable. The government is not in a position to just say whatever they want is classified. You can't just say this is top secret information about any information you want. That's supposed to be for the nuclear launch codes and for our positions on the battlefield during battle. That's the whole idea of classified information. Not, hey, we fucked up and did something bad, so now I'm not going to tell the American people what they paid for with their money. I mean, the government is us. We fund the government. We funded the torture. It's an uncomfortable fact of reality, but of course we should know what's going on with our money in our names. So all of their arguments are nonsense. Now, another reason why this is a crazy line to take is the Pentagon Papers. So remember the Pentagon Papers? That was when we learned that U.S. troops in Vietnam essentially did terrorism. Now, you don't necessarily blame the troops for that. You blame the people who made the policy decision to tell them to go do X, Y, or Z. But we learned that we used Agent Orange and we used napalm and we attacked innocent civilians in villages and we did this horrific stuff. And that was eventually released. Why? Because we're the United States of America. We have a First Amendment protection. We have freedom of information. We have a free press. We're supposed to know what the government is doing in our name. So if she wants to use this argument, she should go back and be consistent and say, you know what, I don't think the Pentagon Papers should have been released either, and I don't think we should ever know what our government did with our money in foreign countries. I don't think we should ever know that we used Agent Orange and napalm on innocent little kids in Vietnam. And also, another example, we toppled the government of Iran. They tried to keep that classified for a while. Recently, it was just released. So what? You want nobody to ever know about that? You want nobody to ever know that we were doing crazy fucking coups all over the place so we can continue to get cheap oil from certain regions? No, if you believe in what you're saying, then you're an authoritarian. Then don't pretend like you believe in American-style democracy. Don't pretend like you believe in rule of law and the Constitution. Just admit it. Just say, I'm an authoritarian. I believe more in a fascist state than I do in the United States of America.